All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all for coming to my office hours. Today is December 11th. My name is Todd Browse. Uh, Welcome to office hours. A reminder, the session is being recorded, so please keep that in mind. I will post this on my YouTube channel. And please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've made another milestone. I have 44 subscribers. So it's a process. It's an algorithm and I'm sucking at it. But anyway, hopefully we'll go someplace with this. All right. Let's get into this because I got so much stuff. It's crazy. Oh, again, please do connect with me. Uh, Marginal cost of cognition and creativity is dropping to zero. It's exponential effects. It's crazy. Also, if enrollment for my upcoming spring class is open, so please do check that out at the School of Visual Arts. Yes, it's the age of Anno Intelligentiae. It's the age of intelligence. All right, here we go. In case you haven't heard, today GPT 5.2 was released by OpenAI. It's apparently absolutely incredible. Definitely take a look at it. The reviews are on it are still coming in. A lot of people are insanely impressed with this model. There's a bunch of you can code stuff, build apps with it. This is incredible, incredible capabilities built on top of their GPT-5 model. Um, they are kicking butt. Everyone was like, "Oh, code red at OpenAI." Well, not exactly. And granted, it took them what 6 weeks to catch up, and this is an incremental release. So OpenAI is not dead yet. Um, Nobody should be calling them in trouble, but I think they at least matched where Gemini 3 is. So take a look at GPT 5 5.2. This is going to be fun to play with over the weekend. Here's the ARC Prize leaderboard. This is the ARC Prize 1. You'll see that GPT-5 Pro X High is above 90%. By the way, I'm recovering from a cold, so I will be coughing throughout tonight, so I do apologize for that. But if you look at ARC AGI 2, they're at 54%. This is incredible. Um, and of course, I always suggest that people take a look at the cost per task relative to the human baseline. Yeah, great. So, Gemini 3 is at $30 relative to 17, but here's this GPT 5.2 Pro high at $15.72 per task. So that's the metric that we as the humans should be paying rather close attention to. Uh, all right, here we go. Next slide. Oh, and this was just the ARC Prize announcement that they comparing it to O3 at sorry, scored 88% on ARC AGI1 at $4,500 per task. Today they verified GPT 5.2 with a score of 90.5. This is on the one ARC AGI1 at $11.64 per task. So a 390 times X efficiency improvement in 1 year. We're dealing with like 3-year-olds that are accelerating. So it's really exciting. All right, a little political stuff. So this is a tweet from David Sachs, who's the AI crypto czar at the Trump administration. There's a lot of political aspects going into regulation of AI. And the president, Donald Trump, is saying that there really needs to be one rule book that's done federally. And David Sachs goes into explaining the logic for this. I do tend to agree with this. I think this is a good approach, regardless of what your opinion is of the administration. This is something that's very important, and that we do need federal regulation that supersedes the states with something like this. If states' rights would be untenable in this scenario. Also, politically, the U.S. Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, announced that there's a GenAI.mil. So we are now providing generative AI access to our military, which is, I think, also very important. And I do support that. Um, A16Z has a great post in their newsletter. Workers shift to entrepreneurship as hiring cools. I feel so seen and so validated because I've been talking about the future of work is entrepreneurship. And here it is, 3.5 years later, when I've been saying this is where we need to focus, it's actually coming true. The data is coming in. I'm incredibly excited to see this because I do believe that the future of work is entrepreneurship because generative AI and agentic AI can basically do almost all of the tasks that knowledge workers and creatives currently do. So great to see that. Here's a fantastic paper, a report from OpenRouter. OpenRouter is an API LLM model aggregator where you can just sign up for them, give them some pay for some tokens, uh, uh, top up your account, and you could use all these different LLMs through an API. Highly recommend OpenRouter. But they did a study of 100 trillion token study with OpenRouter and they talk about how people are using the different models and what works and what not. Um, how large language models are becoming embedded in the world's computational infrastructure. So definitely something you might want to take a look at. So lots of pretty pictures and lots of words. All right, moving on. Crea.ai. I've got a bunch of tabs open with Crea. Context for Nano Banana. So they created this really interesting tool. I have not personally looked at it, but this was like, oh, this is something I should show you guys to make it easy to add context to your generations. So they got a little demo here that they put together, and I thought that was really a cool idea. You can probably build one of these things for yourself just by prompting it in like AI Studio or even Gemini. So a bunch of system prompts. Cool. Um, okay, so this is bunches of these. Live avatar, streaming real-time audio-driven avatar generation with infinite length. So I'm just going to play a couple of seconds of this.
What's up, future voice fans? Ready to dive into the future?
Yo, have you guys seen that new real-time avatar thing?
So
From
it's hokey in terms of their lip sync and stuff like that. It's not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but it's still pretty darn good. But this is like an avatar that's a live stream. This is really fascinating. I don't, again, we've talked about. I don't like how we're using real people as substitutes here that have not given their consent, but still, the fact that we can do this type of thing is really impressive. So something else to take a look at. What else? This is a paper, the impact of visual generative AI on advertising effectiveness. I know a lot of you are in the creative industries. This is a paper that's definitely worth reviewing. We find that generative AI created advertisements consistently outperform both human and Gen AI modified ads, increasing click-through rates by up to 19% in field settings. In contrast, generative AI modified ads show no significant improvement over human created benchmarks. These results reveal an asymmetry. Visual generative AI delivers greater value when used for holistic ad creation rather than for modification, where creative constraints may limit its effectiveness. Effectiveness increases even more when generative AI also designs product packaging representing the lowest degree of output constraints. So, this is a fascinating study on advertisements that generative AI is doing better than human authored or generative AI modified, meaning that this was a human authored and then the generative AI went and modified it. So the enhances the experts' designs. So keep an eye on this stuff. I'm glad that people are looking into this and actually studying it. So uh, definition of exponentials. We've started with Will Smith eating spaghetti. I'm going to just speed this up. Little progression in terms of how well and how good and how fast this stuff is happening. So just in a few years, we've gone from hokey crazy to actual good generative video. Not bad for a few years. Here's another paper. This one's Ethan Mollick is on the author's list. Prompting Science Report number 4, Playing Pretend Expert Personas Don't Improve Factual Accuracy. So one of the things in my class that I've shown like this, which was we thought was a best practice, was imagine you're prompting to ChatGPT. It's like imagine you're the world's greatest, a researcher. You're the world's greatest copywriter. What this study is showing that technique doesn't necessarily work as well as we thought it does. So persona prompts generally did not improve accuracy relative to a no persona baseline. Expert personas show no consistent benefit across models with few exceptions. So really interesting study, definitely worth keeping an eye on. Again, prompting techniques. Google Labs gave some feature additions to Mixboard. That's one of the great tools. So they've added PDF and other formats, file formats. Create presentations with the content found directly on your boards. Nice. Multi-board projects. Awesome. Stitch from Google. This is one of those generative user interface design tools. So they can now redesign their agent, which is absolutely fantastic. So they've added code generation, so you can now basically go from a design to code, open it up in AI Studio, or even pull it down, edit its stuff in Cursor, deploy it someplace else. So the going from a concept to a design to an actual working prototype is becoming much, much faster. Another thing that they just add, so they're adding all these new features. Prototypes, you can now select multiple screens and stitch them together into a fully functional, clickable user flow. So why pay for Figma when you have this? Uh, I think Google's gonna put Figma up for a little competition, can't hurt. So they've added a bunch of features over the last several days. Topaz Labs, Starlight Precise 2, a new video enhancement model that delivers next-gen realism. So say goodbye to plastic and an artificial look, get natural faces, skin textures, and details. This is beautiful. So if you need that absolute realism in the project you're working on, here's a great solution for you. Suno just added an equalizer.
So here it is. We've added a full parametric equalizer to Studio, giving you precise row-level control over every track you create.
So if you were an audio engineer and you needed this additional stuff, you no longer have to download your stems and bring it into another DAW. Suno's really pushing forward on the AI generative DAW. Yes, Kevin.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Inside of DaVinci, we've got the same thing, and it will do a full mix for you,
Nice. So
ducking
DaVinci's
ducking the music, doing everything, and then you have control. Once it does it, you can go back in and do it. It's pretty cool.
but DaVinci's not competing with Suno in the generative
No,
music
no, no,
area,
no. It's
right?
trying to
Okay.
make my life easier.
Got it. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, anything we can do to make your life harder would be
My life easier and less expensive for my company because I don't have to send it out to an audio house unless there's
yeah,
something, that's what it
exactly.
comes down to. Okay, sorry.
Awesome, awesome. Where were we? Okay. So McDonald's released an AI generated Christmas ad.
It's the most terrible time of the year. All the shops turn to mayhem, even Santa knows space, and the tree redecorates.
I don't want to play the whole thing, and again, you know me, I'm all in on AI generated stuff.
Yeah,
Turns out, McDonald's pulls their AI generated holiday ad after a deluge of mockery. Um, so we'll see how this plays out.
I thought the motion on this stuff was really weird.
Say that again, Michael?
I thought the motion in this spot was really weird. Like there's a bunch of places where I think it kind of reveals the problem of AI and some of the motion stuff. It's like
Right.
They did a good job in the Progressive commercial.
Did that?
I
Oh, I haven't
haven't
seen
seen
that.
Hold on, I'll send you the information. I thought I shot it through. I'll shoot it through in a minute.
Nice. Michael, it's hard to hear you. I think your microphone's not set.
Sorry, I forgot I have this.
Oh. All right, awesome.
Yeah, I thought the motion was weird in some of the the people falling and the way stuff falls. I thought it looked like AI. I mean, that's the part that gives it away to me.
It looks like AI.
Yeah.
Well, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
What I find surprising though is that the mockery and all the negative comments. Like, really, you're not going to lean into this? I think it's such a good idea that they're doing this. And of course, there's going to be pushback. People are not going to want to do this. So, but I'm proud of them for at least trying.
For sure.
And,
It's necessary. They got to go
Yeah.
through the criticism. It's going to happen. But I just think there's just places now where the AI, like the way things fall, or it's like the guy falling on the snow and some of the stuff. I think that's where the problems are is motion and movement.
Motion and movement. I agree. Well, I'll pull up that video in a minute.
Yeah, when you're ready, the Progressive thing is up there, and it does have a legal that says AI generated.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right, we'll play that later. Okay, so where are we? So McDonald's pulls it down. Yeah. God. And I'm curious about like where's the mockery coming from? Like, what's the population of people who are like anti-McDonald's, the anti-AI ads? Is it the creatives? Is it the advertisers? Or is this just the general population of people who are like AI is coming for our jobs, so we have to protest against it? That might be true. Like, I could live with that.
Trolls.
Trolls. Yep, I love it. Um, so we've talked about generative UI in the past. This is from Google Research. LLMs are effective UI generators. So if you are a UI UX designer, you're in trouble. Okay. The reason you're in trouble is because we are now using AI to create the we're using AI to create the UI in near real time. So this is important to pay attention to. All right. In other words, if you're starting school to become a UI UX designer, I don't know if there's a significant job for you when you graduate using the traditional tools, using the traditional pipelines. Design is still there. That theory is still valid, but just hey, I'm learning Figma. I don't know if that's a great place for you to be right now. So please be aware of that. Learn AI because that's going to be the future. Building the generative AI systems that make stuff look good within the confines of the app that you're building. That's important. That's the skill of the future. Generative UI LLMs are effective UI generators from Google. Here's a couple of examples that they've created. I don't really know how to use this, but awesome job. Keep exploring your science badges, a lava lamp. So this is, I'm assuming, all being done by the AI. I've not played with it. So their little chemist's lab demo. Uh, Whoops, let me scroll to the top. The folks over at Mistral also released DevStral 2, their Vibe C and also their Vibe CLI. A lot of command line interfaces for coders, but they have a new model that's out, and they compare it to the other open models, DeepSeek version 3.2, which was just released. So they're like neck and neck with that in K2, Kimi K2. Great competitive stuff here. This is their DevStral 2. Clear, I mean, like they didn't update this for GPT 5.2, but we're within uh, striking distance. So open weight free models that you can download, run locally, privately in your own private cloud, that doesn't ever hit. Uh, uh, where there's competition here, so we'll see how this goes. And again, so you can see the model size, small models, high quality, you know, real good stuff. I actually don't really know how big DevStral 2 is. I didn't really pay too much attention to this. I just paid like, oh, look, a new model. I got a lot of those. Um, so yeah, DevStral 2, 123 billion. This is not running on your laptop, okay? The small one is, okay? So keep that in mind. If you're deploying DevStral 2, you're using that through an API. You're hosting that somewhere else. Okay. This is so, I see these generative platforms, workflows for creatives. There's just so many of them. Fuser.studio. This one popped across my feed. I was like, oh, this is great. Another one. You can see the wiring up, kind of like Weeby. They've got a bunch of use examples here. So they're clearly doing something right. Interesting user interface. Never start with a blank canvas. So they give you a bunch of templates that you could play with. I find the widgets interesting. Uh, Something to try, something to play with. I don't know if it's worth switching from like Weavy or Flora Fauna or any of the other tools that you're using, but it's definitely something worth looking at. Oh, and this is the other thing. Their pricing seemed actually kind of impressive. So like you could pay one time, for a number of credits, and like that's it. So if you want to just play with it, see what it is, you can just pay a few bucks, have fun, and pay for storage or whatever you need, depending on how much data you're storing. I think this is a very good pricing model, and you can always go monthly if you want, pay an annual if you're using a lot. Pretty generous in the way of from a token perspective, dollar per solution. Take a look. Let me know. Something to play with. Another tool. What else? OpenAI is launching our first OpenAI certification courses. I think this is great. If you are working with ChatGPT and you don't know anything about ChatGPT, again, this is the consumer-facing stuff. So they're creating some courses. There's ChatGPT Foundations for teachers. You know my opinion on teachers. I think that they should be required to use AI. If they're not using AI, they shouldn't be teaching anymore. They should be removed from the classroom. So I think this is a good place to start. If you have never used ChatGPT before, this is and your teacher, intro to prompting, top teacher use cases, intro to essential tools. Take this class. I think it's free. I don't know what, I didn't even look at the, yeah, join for free, I guess. I don't know. Uh, Good. I'm glad that they're doing this. Teach people how to use this stuff. Another announcement, OpenAI and Anthropic and Google, they're all supporting this Agentic AI Foundation under the Linux Foundation. Everyone's like, okay, we need to start creating some standards here. This is awesome. So OpenAI is contributing their agents.md, their agents.markdown to the Agentic AI Foundation. So this was their announcement. So they're donating this agents.md. So it's a good way to create settings so that if you are a coder, this is for software developers, and you are building agents, this is a great way to set up your system to do that. So agents.md complements this by containing the extra, sometimes detailed context coding agents need, build steps, tests, conventions that might clutter a README and aren't relevant to human contributors. So we've talked about how design thinking is changing. Well, we now have a solution for humans and a solution for the AI. And the agents.md is the design thinking solution so that AI can read the code better. And this is an example. So the development environment, the testing instructions, pull request instructions. So if you're a coder, that'll make you very excited. And then Anthropic is also donating the Model Context Protocol, the MCP, to the same Agentic AI Foundation. So top companies are providing open solutions so that the world could benefit from this. This is very exciting. I support this fully. I don't know if you might have seen me talk about this electricity generation slide from Our World in Data. This is kind of I've shown this in my class. I show this in many of the presentations I give about the gap that the United States faces against China for electricity. This is massive here. So the folks over at Boom Supersonic decided that they have a solution to some of our power gap, our electricity gap. AI needs more power than the grid can deliver. Supersonic tech can fix that. So these crazies put supersonic engine into a generator, and they're now able to generate electricity. I think it's natural gas. I forgot to look. This is so cool. I think this is brilliant because they could just set this up in near a data center really quickly and just put all the power that they need right there. Definitely. Oh, and there's the same slide. So just really excited to see innovation like this because we need it desperately, absolutely desperately. Way to go for Boom Supersonic. Menlo Ventures, they just released their 2025, The State of Generative AI in the Enterprise. This is, I think, a must read. Actually, I'm going to put this into the Zoom chat so you guys actually have this. By the way, I'll make all of these links available on my website later. But too much to cover here. Read this. Actually, there was one thing that, what was it that I wanted to mention here? Hold on. Startups versus incumbents. Oh, this also made me very happy. New entrants into the marketplace are gaining ground in AI apps. I think this is very cool because, again, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm focusing on startups myself, so this excites me. That startups have a place here. So the big question about a year or two ago was who has the greater advantage? Incumbents, because they've got the money, they got the clients, they could just spin up another business unit and go after the AI. But they don't, because this is the ambidexterity problem. This is the Kodak problem. Kodak failed because they couldn't pivot to digital. So this is a startup advantage that I am very excited about. So take a look at Menlo Ventures' new report. Adobe and ChatGPT just announced that you can now, inside of ChatGPT, use Adobe Photoshop. We were talking about this before we got on tonight. This is incredibly exciting. I can't wait for you guys to show me how to use this. But way to go, Adobe and OpenAI. So edit designs, images, and documents in Adobe Express, Photoshop, and Acrobat now in ChatGPT. I think there's audio here. But so you can actually just go into ChatGPT, here's the image, and describe what you want changed. It'll create the sliders, hashtag generative UI, and it'll do what you need. Create an invite for my dance party. There you go. And remember, you can pull that into Adobe Express or whatever and edit the text, change the layout, make changes yourself by hand. So this is starting from nowhere and getting something that really solves and 10x's your productivity. So look at this, help me edit this PDF. Just beautiful. Way to go. Good use case. Oh, excuse me. New research just released Nomos 1, 30 billion parameter model, highly rated, small. Google Labs is also adding features to Pomeli. They've added animation to that tool. Pomeli, if you don't recall, we talked about this before. You give it a website, your brand, and it'll create a new advertising campaign for you based off of the content that's on your website. So absolutely fantastic solutions here. So, built to be your legacy, engineered not to, you give it describe what you want, give it the information, it'll create the whole campaign for you. So if you're in advertising, pay attention. OpenAI strengthening cyber resilience as AI capabilities advance. I'm glad to say that they're publicly saying that they're investing in strengthening their models for defensive cybersecurity, because this is a cat and mouse when it comes to security. Another tool, sync.so, lip sync any video instantly. Thought this was another platform that looked
Telling
really
the perfect
exciting.
story shouldn't take more than one shot. It should just work. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are facing, or what you look like. It should just work.
I have crooked teeth? No. Look at my immaculate
Now again,
beard.
I have issues with the use of somebody else's likeness without their permission, but this is a good tool to have in the toolbox. Actually, I feel like, Adobe Premiere and DaVinci, so they just add this as a plugin. That's what they should do.
What do I find out when I Google myself? Well, usually something that I know is not true, and I usually have to call somebody to let them know that I am not an imposter who is taking money from someone in England. Was finde ich, wenn ich mich selbst google? Meist etwas, das ich weiß.
So there's a bunch of these platforms that are doing that translation, but
Where the fuck am I?
great, thanks. Replace dialogue, animation. So lip sync 2, fantastic. Glad that they created this. Sync Labs also has React 1, allows you to modify only the region you want, leaving the rest of your video untouched.
React 1 lets you control how deep a performance goes. In Lips mode, you change the dialogue cleanly, perfect for quick, natural dubbing.
Hey, watch where you're going, fool.
In Face mode, the expression follows. Eyes, emotion, every subtle reaction.
Hey, watch where you're going, fool.
And in Head mode, the entire performance shifts. Lips, face, posture, presence.
Hey, watch where you're going, fool.
So a useful tool for creative directors. I think this is, a nice thing to add to the toolbox. Kriya, they've got workflows or trainings into endpoints. So their API. So now you have access to all of the Kriya features via API. This would be useful for many of us using any of the aggregation platforms. Good to see. Walt Disney Company and OpenAI reached landmark agreement to bring beloved characters from across Disney's brand to Sora. Now, we've talked about this in the past, how, if you are a brand, if you are Disney, do you want your characters in Sora? do you want your characters in these AI generative tools? I've always argued that yes, you do. I want people to interact with Darth Vader, and I want them to interact with Lilo and Stitch, just because it's people playing with these beloved characters. Um, so I'm all for this, uh, uh, and I'm just glad to see this. And apparently, Disney will make a $1 billion equity investment in OpenAI. So Disney is paying OpenAI to have their stuff in Sora. So think about that business strategy for just a second here. Like, who's making the money? Who's benefiting here? So again, that strategy of we want people to interact with our characters, Disney, Marvel, Pixar, Star Wars, on these platforms, and then we get to put some guardrails on it because we don't want some it's like one month of their cash burn. Yes, it is, but still, it's yeah. What are they? 15 million a month? Sorry, 15 billion a month. I don't know what it is yearly. They're at a loss. Um, well, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, so to me, I think this is a fantastic strategy for Disney to allow this to happen. Also, at the same time, Disney hits Google with an AI copyright infringement cease and desist letter. So now we start to see some alignment going on here that Disney is now against Google with VO3 and their image gen. So we'll see how this plays out. I have a sneaky suspicion that this is just going to force Google to, exchange some money with Disney. Otherwise, I don't know how that's going to play out. Because I would argue that I would want, if I'm Google, I want Disney's characters too. What's that gonna take? Because if Sora's got it, why can't we have it too? And honestly, at the end of the day, Disney wants this. Disney wants this more than I think Disney realizes, because people interacting with their characters and their intellectual property forces people into their curated content. So I think this is a great idea. We'll see how that plays out with the lawsuit against Google. The state of enterprise AI, what we're learning about AI at work. So OpenAI released their paper on their research on how this is affecting jobs. Excuse me, lots of coughing. Don't get sick, folks. So please read this, the state of enterprise AI. Cursor, my favorite. I actually think I spend more time in Cursor than almost any other tool other than like Chrome. I love Cursor for software development. They just added a browser, a web browser into the IDE, and of course, it's AI capable. So if you are a designer, this is really important because you can click and drag the actual web page and rearrange some things within a certain limitation, kind of like if you were doing it in Figma, but this is the actual code. And then you can prompt the AI to make the change that you want. So if you select an object and say, change this, move this over here, make this text different, rearrange it, it'll do it for you. And this is affecting the live code. That's why this is a superpower. One of the other things that I need to check on this is does this help developers close the loop on testing their systems? I think this will also help with that. Point and prompt, use the abstraction hierarchy. So this is really cool. One of these days, I feel like I should be giving a workshop on how to use Cursor and develop and code with generative AI. How much would you guys pay for that? Gemini app, need to resize an image, Nano Banana Pro. Just upload your image, tell it the aspect ratio you want. That's really cute. Basic feature. You know how I love prompt sharing. So here's a great prompt. You're an award-winning trailer director. Again, this goes against what we said earlier, the role-based. Your job, turn one reference image into a cohesive cinematic short sequence. So they're using this hashtag, this HTML format, which is interesting to me, not like the YAML or the JSON format. But a complicated prompt there that they are generating here. And here's what they produce with this, these different shot breakdown. Really good idea. Good technique. Bullet time, decoupled control of time and camera pose for video generation. 4D controllable video generation. So this is the input. This is the generated video. I'm not going to play the whole thing here, but you can kind of get a sense of. These are the generated videos. So you can see how they're orbiting around this. So useful stuff, I think, for certain use cases. If you need a shot that you just don't have, come back from the set and you're like, oh, shoot, we're in trouble. Gonna have to reshoot. Maybe not, or hopefully not. So more techniques. Relic, interactive video world model with long horizon memory. This is also, wait, actually, was it this? Yeah. So again, these are world models that you can interact with and play with. This is the new technique. Lots of art styles. Walk into a painting. So more world models. This is very important research. What was this? Oh, this is funny.
Ralphie, we're waiting. Oh, come on, Mom. Right now.
Immediately, my feet began to sweat as those two fluffy little bunnies.
So I'm not gonna show the whole thing, but I like. So is this what AI is supposed to do? Is this the great use case? I don't know. You guys tell me. Grok image prompting cheat sheet. So stop letting AI guess your camera angle. So changing camera angles is important. So here's another shot prompting technique that this person went through to make that work. I thought this was really impressive. So if you are a film director, looking at you, Michael, these are really important techniques that we should be paying attention to. What else? Steady dancer, harmonized and coherent human image animation with first frame preservation. This is impressive. Was there a video here? Yeah. So X dance benchmark, so the reference image, the driven, and the output. So we are seeing a lot of these techniques hit the platforms. Not bad. I like it. So if you have a performance, you can swap it with your character. Viz audio, end-to-end video driven binaural spatial audio generation. What was this? Not bad. Creating music, multiple sound sources, invisible sound sources, diverse acoustic environments. Cool. And we also have, what was this one? Oh, so this was another model called long cat image. This should be compared to the other models that we talked about last week, which was Z image, which I think this is Z image. We talked about that the other week. And there was another one called Ovis image. So a lot, again, just within a couple of weeks, we're seeing these state-of-the-art diffusion models that are small, that are, let me go back a couple slides here, that are high quality. This one has image editing, by the way. Really fantastic. I downloaded Z image on my M2 Mac. It would take about 2.5, 3 minutes to generate one image on my laptop. So it wasn't the fastest thing in the world. It was a pretty decent image, I will say. So yeah, good stuff. Live avatar streaming, real-time audio-driven avatar generation with infinite length. Oh, I think I showed you guys this one. This was in the headline. And then Tuna, taming unified visual representations for native unified multimodal models from Meta. Text to video generation, text to image generation, image editing. So this is their Tuna. Make the doll's eyes look forward and apply high-end studio lighting from the left while preserving its identity. That looks pretty darn good to me. Image and video understanding. So way to go, Meta. So yeah, I'm not going to play the video. Pixverse has a new update. I'm not gonna play the video.
Hello, welcome to the Pixverse 5.5 model.
Welcome to the Pixverse.
My video's not playing, it's stuttering. But this is Pixverse, their new 5.5 models right here. You can start playing with that. Lotus 2, advancing geometric dense prediction with powerful image generative model. I forget what this was. Creating depth maps? Was that what this was? I forget. My bad. I don't remember what this was. Another example. Oops.
Program to clone you. Cool.
Send in the clown!
Except 1/8 your size.
Just is this the perfect use case for generative AI, or is this like the wrong way? I don't know, but I think it's really cool. We'll see how that plays out. And then here's another one.
How the fuck did he do this? How the fuck did he do this?
Just wax on, wax off. How the fuck did he do this? I don't know. Good stuff. Ads will never be the same. InVideo just dropped Money Shot. This we've talked about. Oh, let me go back. Money Shot. So they've got a new feature. Reviewers spec Amazon Prime pet ads, monster ad. Oh, I pulled up their platform here. This is the Money Shot. So it looks AI generated. I'm not saying that it's, but.
Seared beef, silky matcha sauce, molten cheese, and a buttered green bun, stacked.
It's not real enough, in my opinion, but it might be good enough for a lot of use cases. So that's their new feature in InVideo. This was funny.
A new way to store your data. A device that's always in you. Designed for you and your questionable taste. Plug and Play has a new meaning.
Smells a bit funky.
Thanks to its unique design.
I think that's genius. I don't think that would sell, but I still think it's absolutely hilarious. Flora and Fauna has a new user interface for using Qwen edit angles so that you can actually adjust and get the proper camera angles that you might need. This was really impressive. So if you've got something that's off in terms of the camera angles, they've got the user interface to fix that. I expect to see that in all the other platforms soon enough. Glyph generating AI video is easy. I'm going to skip that. Infinite Cling, this was another tool to create. Let me go back. This was interesting. You're creating all these infinite videos. Somebody built an app to do that on top of Cling. Behind the scenes of horror movies. Again, good use case of generative AI. Funny. Lego. Awesome. Cling Omni, we mentioned this last week.
They had a function. Download here.
So they're adding features, really impressive. Armin AI 3D miniature isometric room with Nano Banana Pro. So they give a bunch of examples of these of this type of layout. Really cute if that's your style. Another prompt share. This was Comfy Easy, a web user interface for Comfy UI. I'm like, why don't you just use Automatic 1111 or what's the other one? Not Flowith. There's another one. I can't remember. It'll come to me. Diff Synth Studio. So Qwen image to IDL. I guess that's an image to LoRa feature. Nice. Polaroid F40 concept to photo shoot. Another workflow. Another prompt share. Love it when people do that. Realistic characters and animating them. Now so easy, anyone can do it. And it's free and fast. MetaHumans using Unreal Engine 5. Awesome. This was LTX Studio. Mistakes happen. Retake in LTX. You can fix the exact moment that went wrong without touching the rest of your clip. Nice. Another prompt share on the style of miniature macro effect. Awesome. Viral video to JSON prompt. Oh, so we've talked about the JSON prompting as a good way to interact with these tools. This person came up with a nice little gem to make that work for you. You can build this and put this into basically any tool at this point. Great idea. Have the AI generate the JSON prompt for you. Recraft has prompting for image generation. A bunch of they created this prompt guide. I highly recommend this. I think a lot of this stuff will apply to many other tools as well. What was this? Visa 3D Aware video shading for real-time upper body avatar creation. So you can kind of see what they're doing here. Really cool. This was Quen Edit Angles. So they're doing these carousel style advertising images. So if you got a product to sell, this works. I don't think anybody's going to be complaining that this is AI generated. Unlike a McDonald's commercial, and they talk about how they did it. Really good. Love it. Oh, I think I showed this already. Video reference your product in the AI generated ad. Awesome. Kling 2.6, great for slow motion. And the face really gets hit there. I thought that was really cool. Matrix effects. There you go. That's impact, baby. Oof. Contact sheet prompting. This is an interesting technique that this artist came up with to get their video to play out nicely. Where was it? Is it this one? It's not playing. Maybe it's this one. So it's a style. Works. Nice. Right, next one. This was what was this? Another workflow. Movie style workflow, prompting, multi-shots. Love it. Grid to video workflow. So you create your grid, give it the prompts, it'll make the edit for you. This was actually really cool. 30-second spot.
Despierta. Despierta. The old world is no more. No more time. No more truths. But from the shadows, force exists.
This is awesome.
Despierta.
I just I look at that stuff and I'm like, that was done by AI. This is really disruptive. And you compare that to again, we don't know how much this took to produce, but you compare that to the Coca-Cola and the McDonald's commercials and well, okay, this is really strong. Anyway, Emma, it's also much better than McDonald's, right? Exactly. So I guess McDonald's hired the wrong people. I don't know. Yeah, it's a unique use of AI, Michael. That's exactly right. I completely agree. So this is another model from Huawei called Emma, multimodal understanding generation and editing. So again, state-of-the-art models that are just free and small and beautiful. So you can see hair change, background change, clothing change. Good stuff. This was open image model finally potentially cited. What was this? This was an announcement about GPT 5.2 and their new model, their new AI model that's coming out. This was, I forget what this was. Kling AI.
I'm excited to announce Kling AI's brand new feature, the Kling AI Avatar. With ultra-realistic lip sync and full expression control, you can bring your text to life like never before. In just 1 minute, generate 1,080 videos at 48 frames per second for sharp and smooth results. Choose from human or animal characters in multiple styles and make them speak English.
This is good. I mean, this is really good. It's not perfect, but I still think it's really good. And it's only going to get better. This was actually really strike on this, but if you're a brand and you hire this guy, this is really good. Again, I have that moral conundrum of like, but he didn't get the authorization of these actors and actresses to use their likeness. But still, the quality of this stuff is absolutely gorgeous. So I love that technique. I don't know how he did it. 3D for HANA is here. First canvas that combines 2D and 3D in real time. Line tool. Muting that. We don't need that. Just another tool to create user interfaces. I thought this was really good. Something worth paying attention to if that's what you're doing. This was Mocha, mixture of components, attention, 3D generation, lots of components. Really cool if you need 3D elements. What was this? Shots for, oh, this was Higgsfield shots, more features that they've added recently. Quen image, I to L, I mentioned this earlier. Google Labs Stitch, I think I added this, I mentioned this earlier as well. There was Klingo1 post. This is really cool. More prompt share. This is another prompt share. A camera shot and angle reference chart for your subject. So again, macro close-up, medium shot. So all of the stuff that a director would use. Michael, I'm looking at you. Look at this. And so again, this is the JSON prompt. So here they are. Here they've got this grid that, again, you can take this and move this into whatever, tool you need now that you have the layout. Really cool. Really interesting technique. Here's another one. Beautiful. Over the shoulder shot. Beautiful. Fantastic. And you could feed this. This gives you more control over what you may or may not need. So good stuff. Great techniques. This was Ally AI.us. Another platform creates stunning images and videos, I believe. Another platform for us to play with. 8K? Wow. We don't need 8K. Yes, we do. How much is this? $6 per month, 200 credits every month. Yeah, you're going to be in the pro plan really quickly. And you can get credit packs. Okay. Yeah, so you could just top up. Not bad. WAN move motion control video generation via latent trajectory guidance. So I think this was their prompting. You're dragging the cursor and it tells you where the action's going. Really cool idea here. So you can kind of see how they're directing from the image. It's following the physics. And I'm assuming the prompt as well. Multi-object motion control. This is really cool. I mean, this looks a little wonky, but like that looks real. Especially if that's like some B-roll. It's not perfect, but this is only going to get better. I mean, this is really good. I'm sure if we studied this, we'd find some errors, but still. That's good. Camera control. Stuff that we need to pay attention to. These are great tools. These are really good tools. Great stuff. What was this? Coca-Cola ad. Oh, yeah.
Been doing this a long time. Longer than most folks care to remember. Delivery after delivery. It's not that I don't feel appreciated. I do. But the monotony, it gets to you. Over and over and over again. But sometimes life gives you a spark. That hit the spot. Well, friends, back to it.
Not bad. Nice spec spot for an AI studio. Love it. That's better than the other ones. Kling AI 01. What was this? I forget what this was. Element library, multi-use reference. Modify subject. Another promo for Kling 01. Play with that. Preserving source video realism, high fidelity face swapping for cinematic quality. Again, I've mentioned over and over again my moral concerns with the face swap, but that looks good. So we're going to start to see these techniques, and you're looking at this one, show up everywhere. Again, when I look at that, I'm like, he didn't give authorization to use his likeness, and that's the problem that I have with it. Unified video editing with temporal reasoner. What was this? Length extrapolation. Input, replace the brown tracksuit with the beige. Seeing, reasoning, and editing. Remove the man with short, dark hair wearing a gray suit on the right. Not bad. Remove the blue credit card with the gradient design and white text on the far right. Object removal. That's harsh. Object addition. These are great techniques. Think about what we'd have to do back in the day to mat this out, to rotoscope this out. This would not even be possible. Like you would have to recreate this whole man's body and arm in 3D in Maya or something, light it, texture it, render it out, and then composite that in. That job is gone. Just prompt it. Use one of these tools. This is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Wow. One story, coherent multi-shot video generation with adaptive memory. Wait, why do I feel like I have another? This is this? Yeah. One story. Yeah, this is it. This was from Meta. So what they're doing here is a 10-shot, minute-long multi-shot video generation. Minute long. Advertisers work in 30 to 60 seconds, 10, 30, 60 seconds, maybe a 5-second cut. Like now in one shot, we've got a minute long video with multiple shots. So if you're not paying attention to this and you're an advertiser and you're in advertising, if you're a brand, this should excite you to no end because now we can basically automate the entire. Here's our stack of images, our first, last images, whatever the inputs needed here, plus the prompt, lay out the shots, tell it what to do, and you've got an edit and some mistakes. Just incredible. Way to go, Meta. RealGen, photorealistic text-to-image generation via detector-guided rewards. Another paper here. So this was their stuff on the side here. Just beautiful stuff. Beautiful images. These look real. I would not know how to pick these apart and say that they weren't. Photorealistic text to image. Scaling zero-shot reference to video generation. So man is drinking coffee in a cafe. That looks like Van Gogh. So this is the source image. Here's what they generated. That's spot on. Source image. That's right. That is right. That is correct. This is interesting. It looks like it's a mirror, but it's hard to. Looks like it's a mirrored image of the bowl. But imagine the scenario where you're like, hey, we got to replace the bowl. Now you got it. You're in. Again, assembly elements. Beautiful. The ring. That's right. That's her. Bud Light. That's perfect. Damn. That's a money shot. That's the same watch. Steam looks real. Just fantastic. Great stuff. Zero shot reference to video. Beautiful. Omni PSD, layered Photoshop generation with diffusion transformer. Pay attention to this, folks. Given either a flattened poster image, Omni PSD produces layered PSD files with transparent alpha channels separating text, foreground elements, and background into clean RGBA layers that can be directly edited in tools. An online interactive demo is available on LoveArt. Boom. So last week or the other week, we talked about there was that text to poster demo code base that was released out of China. So imagine that. Like the use of where does the designer, where does the creativity fit in anymore? It's still there, but it's at the chief marketing officer's role. The human in the loop is at the brand, where a person who is intimate with the brand, who knows the advertising campaign, who knows what they want to do, and they just go do it. This tool now makes it easy to pull out whatever was created from a generative AI image and separate out the layers so that we can fix whatever's not right. And the determination of what's not right can be done by AI. Rhonda, you got your hand up.
Yeah, I was wondering if you would cover love art because I just got familiar with it, and the fact that it can create layered files, I think blows it out of the water from anything else.
Well, I think that's just a tech demo that they just that company just created. But
But it does do layered files. It does output layered files.
Well, that was
from what I understood from the company because I was watching somebody else demo it.
Oh, okay. So maybe they've integrated
it creates layered Photoshop files. So
that's built into LoveArt, not just a demo.
No, it's built into LoveArt from what I understand.
Oh, that's
yes.
awesome.
So I was very interested in using that tool because then I could manipulate everything the way I would want to do it without having to pull it apart. It's really, I think it blows everything else out of the water.
Oh, cool. I mean, like, I again, this is not a platform that I really know much about. But my understanding was that this was an interactive demo.
No, that's their thing, that they make layered files.
LoveArt makes
layered. That's from what I understand.
That's awesome.
Yes. Somebody said to watch Switch and to watch LoveArt.
Nice. Create a poster with a series of drink images. Yeah, this is great. And I like the idea that they figured out how to do this in layers, because we need that. Like we just the stuff isn't always perfect, especially if you can get the text in a separate layer. Oh man, it's just like it solves so many design problems that we run into. Way to go, LoveArt. Great stuff. Let me take a look at their posters. Yeah, this is beautiful. Look at this. Jeez. And you can, oh, that's nice. They gave you the prompt. I love it when the Mid-Journey public. These are great. These are absolutely great. Poster gen. Sweet. Absolutely sweet. Yeah, another tool. How much was it again? $30 a month for basic, 16 a month for starter. Okay. Not bad. And you have access to all of this stuff. Unlimited access to Nano Banana? That's impressive. Again, $30 a month. So you better be doing stuff here. Seedream, Midjourney, Seedream 4.5, and Nano Banana Pro 365 Unlimited. Yeah, that might really be good for a lot of people. Geez. Thank you, Rhonda. Love art. Okay, way to go. All right, now into the LLMs. Again, I'm always paying attention to these academic papers. H neurons on the existence, impact, and origin of hallucination-associated neurons in large language models. So, Tsinghua University, they figured out that there are certain neurons inside of large language models that are related to the hallucinations. So they're trying to isolate them and explain them and figure out how they work to reduce the hallucinations. So good stuff, research there. Quen 3 text to speech, another model out of the Quen Alibaba group. This was internal prompting techniques that guarantee near perfect accuracy. Nobody outside the labs is supposed to know them. So somebody more prompting techniques. So again, this role-based, which again, that paper from Ethan Mollick and team, like, oh, don't use the role-based. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Chain of verification. This is very important, actually. Here, actually, I should show you this. Provide your initial answer, generate 5 verification questions that would expose errors in your answer each verification question, provide your final corrected answer based on verification. So next semester, when I do the LLM unit, I'm going to include the COVE technique because that actually is really good. Again, it's like if you're one shot, if you're just doing something short, this is very, very helpful. Few shot with negative examples. So this is also nice, just like explaining the few shot that we say, hey, this is an example of how you want it. Here's an example of how I don't want it. Real smart. Structured thinking protocol. Understand, analyze, strategize, and execute. So this is, I'm actually going to put this into the Zoom chat so you guys can study it because this is just a good, I love it when people come up with these advanced techniques to get these things to work. Very important. So play with that, read that. Let me know if you see anything that's like jaw-dropping. Titans Miras helping AI have long-term memory. One of the biggest problems with agentic AI is the memory. So when you're using an LLM or even in a chat interface, like I guess OpenAI has added memory features so that they remember who I am, and I can make a project and it'll remember all the stuff that's related to the project. But basically, if I start a new conversation with an LLM through an API, it's not remembering anything. It's complete amnesia, total amnesia between one conversation and the next. So one of the big things that we really need is new memory, and this is an area of active research to solve this problem. So we need memory that works across conversations and give us. By the way, and the other one is continuous learning. Notebook LM, so you can record your notes with your audio, upload that to Notebook LM. It'll get the transcript and it'll make your notebook with your words. Really smart. Love that. Terminator. I don't know if you saw this. Huh. That's real. That is a real robot kicking a human. I have to say I'm kind of excited about it. Essential AI, what was this? Oh, another model, RNJ-1, a new open source model. I downloaded it, I have not played with it. GLM 4.6V, an open source multimodal model with native tool use. This is actually really important. I forget why, but it has a vision model that I thought was really small. Was this the small one? ZAI produced this one. No, this is not the small one. There's a Flash version of 9 billion. Native multimodal tool use. Beautiful. Accenture and Anthropic launch a multi-year partnership to move enterprises from AI pilots into production. One of the big problems with AI in enterprise is that there's a bunch of failures. I think that's a leadership problem, not a technical problem. Vox CPM 1.5. This was, what was this? I forget what this was. Realistic speech generation. What else? Quen, soft adaptive policy optimization. So SAPO is a smooth, stable, and highly effective reinforcement learning method for training large language models. If you are in the LLM space, pay attention to this. What was this? Everything is context, agentic file system abstraction for context engineering. If you're building agents. PACOR, learning to scale test time compute with parallel coordinated reasoning. What's important here is that you're doing reasoning in parallel, not sequentially. So this was really important. Think in parallel. ServiceNow has a new model at Pre-L version 1.6 billion, a 15 billion thinker model. So it's moved up a notch in the small models, but again, Gemini 3 Pro, Apriel Thinker, good stuff. Tiny HUD, an open recipe to turn any AR LL, large language model into a diffusion LLM. So you're going from a word by word method, which you've seen ChatGPT, they just do the words. We've talked about the diffusion LMs. So now we can turn models transform them into another type. Nice. LLM harms. Here's a paper on how bad LLMs could be. So they really kind of go through this, and this is a good little slide here of the different lists, their findings, their different harms, and how this stuff can go bad. It's good that people are studying this. Google DeepMind. What was this again? Facts benchmark suite, systematically evaluating the factuality of large language models. So they're studying how true these things are. Great. We have a benchmark for that. We talked about space-based AI. So StarCloud 1 was able to train the first large language model in space using the Nano GPT from Andrej Karpathy. Great. Training models in space. Qwen 3 Omni Flash, new update. What was this from Google Research? A differential privacy framework for gaining insights into AI chatbot use. Differential privacy is a really important technique for maintaining privacy of data. So this is a good thing to take a look at if you are training models. Open Auto GLM. This was a phone agent that can run on your phone. This is important because I want an LLM running locally on my phone that's private, that can access the devices that I say on my phone, that works for me. So I'm excited to see this. We'll see how that plays out. Gemini Deep Research Agent. So now they have the Deep Research as an agent. And I think it's also in the API. I think I saw somewhere there. All right. What else? Skills from Anthropic. Skills are folders of it. So if you're a developer, if you are a coder, if you're using Claude, if you're using Cursor, Anthropic has these folders of skills. So let me pull this up. It's just so you can get a sense of what we're talking about here. These are some of the examples that they gave. Oh, look, brand guidelines, front-end design, okay? Skill creator, Slack gift creator, theme factory, web artifacts builder, brand guidelines. So here's the markdown file of the actual skill itself. And this is telling the AI how to do this stuff. So here are the brand guidelines. Here's the typography. Here's the smart front application, the text styling, the shape and accent colors, the technical details. All of this stuff is then provided to the AI to solve that problem for you. I think there was another one in here and I can't remember what it was. Canvas design? Is that what it was? So again, these are, you can, if you're a developer, you would create one of these skills for whatever it is that you're building. Generate a visual philosophy, philosophy examples, essential principles, deducing the subtle reference, canvas creation, final steps. So that describes a skill that the AI can now do. Huh. So yeah, skills teach Claude how to complete specific tasks in a repeatable way, whether that's creating documents with your company's brand guidelines, analyzing data using your organization's specific workflows, or automating personal tasks. So good examples how we can start to add features to this stuff. Perplexity just released this paper on how people are using AI agents. This is really important to take a look at and see how people are deploying this stuff. Great. Towards the science of scaling agent systems. So one of the bottlenecks is once we built an agent, how do we scale it? Thank you, Google. Awesome adoption of agentic AI. What was this? Oh, this was interesting. So just a history of how all of these different tools and ecosystems are moving through the ecosystems over time, all the different features. There's another diagram here, agent output signaled. I think there was another one. Yeah. This is agent supervised tool adaptation. Cool stuff. What else? Microsoft released Vibe Voice Real Time, lightweight real time text to speech model. Newton, an open source physics engine from NVIDIA. I really want one. Robots that are assembling a tower. Cool. Oh, and this was the This is just awesome. I'm not going to play the whole thing. What was this? Google DeepMind Lyria camera uses Gemini to describe your surroundings. This is really cool.
The way it works is by asking Gemini to describe what my camera sees in musical terms.
So if you're in an environment, you just want some lo-fi music, turn on your camera, ask it to tell you, make the music for you. Awesome. Netflix made a bid for Warner Brothers. Now Paramount is coming after it as well. So we've got this nice hostile takeover bid. That'll be fun to watch. Personally, I'm all for the consolidation of the movie industry. I think it's about time to see how that plays out. Paper to slides from paper presentation in one click. So again, another tool that makes slides presentations. Stripe is partnering with Instacart to enable direct checkout in ChatGPT, so you can buy stuff directly through the ChatGPT. Orchid's another vibe coding IDE. Again, I'm not going to use this personally. I'm into Cursor. Dexter. What was Dexter? Open source, built for financial research, like Claude Code, but for stocks. So this is something I'm going to probably have to take a look at. AI assistant for deep financial research. That should be fun. Financial Times, China is set to limit access to NVIDIA's second best generation of AI chips. So even though the United States administration is like, okay, you can have a few, they're saying, nah, we don't need them. Beautiful. XAI Hackathon winners develop an app that integrates AI-generated product placement into video scenes. There was a lot of pushback on this, but I thought this was
Regreso el sándwich más importante.
Wait, was this? Halftime, that's what it was called.
Harvard Trivia, the lightning round. Go. Pulitzer Prizes. 46. Nobel Peace Prizes.
Jessica, what are you doing here? I was just...
So product placement in the video that's, generated by AI. Again, good. I'm not against it. I don't know if it's going to be successful, but I think the experiment is fantastic. Another platform that builds apps for you, Your Words to mobile apps. They're focusing on the mobile. I'm not sure I would really ever do this. There's a lot of platforms that do this for you. And I would still try and build it using Cursor at this point if I really needed that. And I would, what's it? Flutterflow. That's the other platform I would probably look at. What was this? This is an interesting video. I'm just going to put this into the Zoom chat. I'm not going to play it. Shane Legg, one of the founders of DeepMind, in an interview with Hannah Fry. Good, worth a watch. Creatify, another platform. They just released a model called Aurora. audio-driven, ultra-realistic rendering of reactive avatars. Again, it's got that avatar-y weirdness.
Animate AI avatars. These gestures help create a more relatable and human-like experience.
It's interesting, but this is their platform. I have not seen this until recently. AI ads that win, winning video ads made and tested for you. Yes, it's really that simple. So another platform, lots of usage apparently. User-generated ads, AI avatars, product videos, Ad Max. Way to go. I think their pricing was reasonable. Yeah, not bad. $100 a month. If you're a brand, that makes sense. That's the end of it. So thank you all for going on this really long journey with me. I know it's already 9:30. Please do connect with me. I'm going to end the recording and stick around for some overtime. And if you have any questions, I'm here.